Hi guys, welcome to my channel Vinyl Beauty, or welcome back. I'm Debbie if you don't know me. So I'm really excited for today's video because I'm going to be playing with the latest Cosmic Beauty launch. So they've brought out a Christmas festive release and it's called 'Tis the Season. I bought the entire collection, which was £45, which is amazing value honestly, because you get this beautiful satin bag if you buy the whole collection. Everything comes packaged in that. And then you get an eyeshadow palette, 2 of their butter blushes or blush butters, and 2 of their bullet lipsticks, which, as I say, is incredible value. And they've got such a great formula, so I'm sure this will be no exception. So I'm really excited. I'm going to do 2 looks in this video. So without further ado, I think we should jump into it. I'll show you the products and then we'll create the looks together. First up, we've got the 'Tis the Season palette. It's in the same shape and size with the square packaging but rounded corners. £20, exactly the same as you're used to seeing from Cosmic, and I love that because they all stack together nicely. That's one of the things that sets like a brand apart to me, if they've got that brand identity and they keep the same shapes and sizes. I just love that. This is the colour story, and oh my word, when I opened this I just gasped. That shade in the corner, that red shimmer, what's it called, Cranberries, it goes red to like a fiery orange and it's just the most stunning thing. And that's the palette up super close, and I think it's genius because you've got a row of green, row of neutral, row of purple and row of red, but it all kind of is cohesive to go together. You've got interesting shimmers with different formulas, you've got depth and you've got lightness in here. So I think, yeah, I'm going to have a ball play with this. I'm really excited. There's also 2 of their cream blushes and they're in gold packaging this time, and yeah, they're really nice colours. I love this formula, tried it before as you guys know if you've watched previous videos, and this one's the shade Merry, which is just a beautiful like muted red kind of shade, really pretty. And then we've got this one which is called Nutmeg, which I haven't got anything quite like that, and definitely not in a cream blush formula, so really excited to use that. That's going to be in my look that I'm going to create today, I think. And then we've got 2 of their lipsticks, which I've said this before, but I love the component, how quality it is. We've got the magnetic closure, which you don't always get, you know, for this price point, so it's incredible. So the first one is called Ginger Snap, and yeah, just a warm toasty kind of cozy brown, love that. And then the other one is Santa Baby, and it's just the most perfect beautiful red. So yeah, right up my street, love red lipsticks. So I was happy to see a red lipstick in their line because the formula is really good. So yeah, without further ado, going to bring you in closer and we'll create look number 1. Okay guys, so for look number 1 I want to create a green look. I'm going to see The Grinch at the cinema tonight. Local Cineworld has got a season of bringing back all the Christmas movies from the past. I went to see Gremlins on Friday, which was absolutely brilliant. I love that movie. And we're going to see The Grinch tonight, which is mine and my husband together is probably favourite movie. There's lots I love, but this is the one he loves the most and I love it too. So we're both going, and that's not often the case. I go on my own a lot, so I'm really excited. So I wanted to do something Grinchy, something green today. And I think the best blush colour for the look I'm intending to do is going to be Nutmeg, this one, which I started to apply and realised I didn't have my camera pressed to record. So that's why I've got a slight bit of it on my cheek already. But I love this orangey warm tone. And in case you're wondering, I'd already set my foundation as well. And these go over your foundation with no problems at all. They don't lift the product. And you don't have to worry about if you've powdered, you know. I've done all of my base, including like my contour that I normally do with my Contour Book 1 from Lunatic Labs, because that's powder and I like to do that first. So I did that, but you can still get away with putting this product over the top. To blend it in a bit if you've gone a little bit too ham like I have here, I just use my foundation brush. And as you can see, it will soon blend into the skin. So I'd come down a little bit low here, so I'm just pushing it back up a bit and shearing it out, and it shears out so well and it doesn't dry down like sticky. It's just such a nice formula. So very excited to see more colours of that. So I've already primed my eyes with my Juvia's Place iPrep, iPrime, eye primer, because that's boring to watch I think. It always creases though once I've done it in advance, but that's fine. It's such a good primer for gripping shadows though, so I do love it. So for today's look, as I say, I'm going to do a green look. So obviously with the top row, but I want to do a bit of a kind of cut crease, full cut crease. It's been a long time since I've done one, so pray for me. But we're going to start with Holly, so the deep shade there. I've got an old pencil brush here that's stained green already, so I thought that might be a good one to use. And I'm just going to sketch out where I want the shape to be. So I'm coming down sort of, doesn't have to be perfect because I can blend it out, but I just wanted to give myself a little bit of a shape so that I know where I'm going with this. I'm trying to keep my eye open and relaxed and go slightly above my crease here, something along those lines. Try not to wreck my hair because I bought one of those shark flex styles, you know, the hairstyler that's very similar to the Dyson Airwrap. I wanted one forever. It's taken me about an hour to get to this stage and it still isn't that curly. I think there's a learning curve involved, but I think it's going to be good once I've got the hang of it. It's like anything, isn't it? It's practice. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, I don't think, for a shape. Not going to blend it out yet. I'm just going to try and replicate the same on the other eye. That's always a challenge. I wanted to leave quite a bit of room for shimmers, and I thought if I do this, there's a bit more in. And also I've not done this shape for a very long time, so I thought it could be fun. I don't often do 2 looks in one video, but I just thought there's so many options in this palette, it would be a shame just to do one look. I know everybody now is getting so many palettes in PR that they're doing like multiple palettes, like just one look with each palette, and doing like 6 palettes or 4 palettes or whatever they've got to catch up with. But I don't know, I like to see myself personally more looks with one palette, so I'm trying to be the channel I want to watch, if you know what I'm saying. But I don't always have time to do that, so I can understand why they don't always do that. Taking that quite a way out. Here, top of it. I never normally wear dramatic looks like this when I go out with my husband, so don't know what he'll think, but it'll be dark in the cinema, right? It's the worst day as well to go anywhere. It's like so miserable outside. I'm just going to blend the top line of this. Doesn't matter what the bottom's doing because we're going to be putting the shimmers there anyway. And I'm using a Sigma E45 because it's pointy, so I can be a bit more precise. As I say, this isn't a shape I'm very proficient at, but you don't get any better by avoiding doing things, do you? So just thought it might be fun. I've got a bit of time today because it's Sunday. I think we need just a bit more on this front here. Just trying to make it the same on both eyes. I can never do that. I don't know if you guys watch these like quick tutorials ever, like Instagram reels or whatever, but you just see people doing these looks so easily. I imagine there's a lot of editing involved in that, you know, cutting out all of the blending that you don't see. Oh no, that's not too bad actually. I'm aware it looks crazy, but it's not too bad. It's kind of what I wanted for the start of it. I'm going to wipe off the brush. I'm going to go into Garland next and then into Mistletoe, so I'm going to just be going upwards with the gradient. Taking a very small bit of Garland and just wiggling that on the edge. Might need a smaller blending brush when I get to Mistletoe. I'm really not taking much product at all each time, just dip to the pan and sort of circular motions around this edge. Then I'm taking Mistletoe, as I say, in an even smaller brush. Just taking that around the perimeter there, just to further blend up. And I'm just going to go backwards and forwards, just using a bit of Garland, which was the middle shade, just to help with that blend there. we're not too far off of how I'd like it to look, so it's just fiddly and it just takes a bit of time. But to balance off the craziness that's going on in the upper eyes, I'm going to do the lower lash line now and do the shimmers at the end. So I'm going to use a slick waterline pencil from Melt. This is the shade Rich Brown in my waterline. These are such good pencils. So I'm taking that in my waterline and just slightly below it as well. And I'm going to go into the shade Hot Chocolate now underneath that. Just kind of to set it, so I'm using a very, very small brush because I don't want that to run away with us too much. I'm just keeping that focused just to my eye. I'm not coming up with that at all because I want, as I say, to have enough room for shimmers. I love little teeny tiny brushes like this one. This one's from Morphe and Jacqueline Hill. I've had it a long time, but very good little detail brush. And to further blend that out, I'm going to use the shade Cookies, and that's going to help us create some cohesion between the lips and the eyes, I think. And I just wanted to try out as many shades as I could. Love the warmth in that shade, that's super pretty. Give that a bit more heavy focus in this outer corner, and less as we go in towards the inner part of the eye. Just taking a brush with no additional product now, just to make sure that's lovely and diffused. And now I'm going to go in with NYX Glitter Primer and just clean up underneath this line here. I'm going to use my cut crease brush from Sigma for this. It does make it a lot easier because of the shape of it to follow the line there. This is when I wish that I had nice smooth lids and I could just do this in one swoop then, but I have to be careful because it'll all start wrinkling as I move, so to do it in little motions. But everything's possible, just takes a bit more effort the older you get, I think, like everything about getting older, I think. Okay, what I'm going to do is use Festive closer to the lash line, and as I move upwards I'm then going to use the shade Decorations over most of the lid, and then just as we get towards the tippy top here I'm going to use Celebrate, so we've got a gradient going up. So I'm taking Festive just on the tip of a brush, so I can start just putting that there almost like eyeliner across my lid, just so we've got some depth at the lid there. That's a pretty shade, that's a nice, what I would call a traditional shimmer, and I love those, so I'm happy with that one. Just wipe that brush off and I'm going into Decorations now, which was the lighter, more sort of piecey textured shimmer. I'm going to put that all over the lid. Just to where the crease starts there. And in the space that we've got left here and sort of winging out up here, I'm going to use the shade Celebrate, so this champagne shimmer here. Just going to sort of tail that off at the edge there. On the inner corner I'm going to go in with Candlelight. It's quite a deep shade for an inner corner, but I think it will look really cool with this look. Just so that it would tie the upper lashes to the lower lashes, and it's so pretty. Sometimes I don't need my inner corner to be like a brightening shade, I just want it to add like interest to the look, and this is definitely doing that. Okay, so that's the look to this point. Gonna hop off camera to apply the lipstick. I always find it easier to do that off camera. It takes me ages to perfect my lip line because I always overline. So gonna do that off camera, some mascara, and I'll be back to show you look number 1. Okay guys, so this is the finished look, and I really love how it turned out. It's very dramatic for me these days. I don't tend to go quite so heavy-handed anymore, but yeah, I really like how it's turned out. I think I could have gone a little bit less ham on this line here, a little bit thinner, and then it would have looked a lot better, but that's progress, isn't it? You just have to learn from your mistakes, and I'll do it differently next time. But the overall look, I think, really is a standout. It looks really, really cool, I think, so I'm really pleased with it. But to finish it off, just use my Star Wars Dark Star mascara from Pat McGrath. It's drying out now, which makes it really good. I like mascara when it's almost at the end of its life, to be honest, and that one is pretty good when it's dried out. So yeah, my lashes are looking quite lifted for me. And to finish it off with the lips, I've gone in with a Melt lip pencil. This is Cinnamon. And then I've used the Ginger Snap shade of the lipstick from this collection. So yeah, I really love how it's turned out. It's sort of warm and toasty, but it's still dramatic and green and festive as well. So yeah, it's a lot of fun to create. So without further ado, we'll move on to look number 2, which for me will be a couple of days, but for you will be in a few seconds. Okay guys, on to look number 2. It's been 10 days, I think, since I filmed. There's been quite a lot going on, including somebody running up the back of my car, and potentially my car's going to be a write-off. I'm perfectly fine and my husband's fine, but the car not so. So that was fun, particularly just before Christmas, but yeah, that's kind of stopped me filming and I didn't really feel like doing it. But today I'm back to doing look number 2, and I am really excited because I'm going to be playing with this bottom row. Pretty much all of the colours on this bottom row, I think. But before we do that, let's apply the blush. So we're going to be using the Merry shade of the blush, which was the Beautiful Red. I'm really excited for this. I saw Cosmic Brushes, Cosmic Beauty, put up a post asking if we want more blushes, whether we want blush palettes, whether we want powder or more cream. Just give me all the blushes. I love blush so much. And this formula is so good as well. Just love it so much. This is a beautiful colour. I love that you can apply it directly over powder, which I like to powder, as I think I probably said in the first video, but or in the first look, but if I am repeating myself, as I say, it's been a while since I filmed. I'm going to take this almost into where the eye look is going to start today. So take it quite high. Then just to calm that down a bit, I've just got my foundation brush, which has just got a little bit of the foundation still on it, just to buff that in and just make it a bit more seamless. And this is such an easy formula to blend out. Such a beautiful pinky red. It's gorgeous. For highlight, I'm going to go with Flexitarian by Colourpop. Just wanted a kind of icy white kind of highlight. And I love this highlighter so much. So I've already primed using the Juvia's Place iPrep iPrime eye primer. I'm going to go into Mulled Wine first. I'm going to take that in a rounded shape all the way around, slightly above my crease. So I'm just stamping that on for the time being, just to get maximum payoff there. And then I'll blend it once I've got the intensity that I'm looking for. If any goes on my lid, it won't matter because we're going to obviously cover that anyway. But I wanted to get that nice and opaque. Just using the edge of the brush, like the top edge of it. And this brush is an E32 Exact Blend from Sigma. Now I've got the colour down, I'm still using the same brush, but I'm just starting to fluff around the edges, just to bring it up slightly higher but a little bit more diffused. This brush is quite a dense brush, so I'm just fluffing around the edges now using that same brush, sort of almost circular motions, just to slightly diffuse the colour, but we don't want to lose the intensity. I'm just looking straight on just to see whether I'm symmetrical. I am going to blend that out in a moment, but I want to do the lower lash line. I'm just taking a really small brush, just taking that kind of on its side and just running that colour along the lower lash line. So I've connected up now in the outer corner. Now taking a smaller brush, this is the A504 from BK Beauty. I'm going to go into the shade Stocking, so this one here, and use that as my blending shade. I'm just going to take that around the very edge of that Mulled Wine shade. Very, very light pressure and circular motions. And going all the way around. So everywhere that we've put the mulled wine shade is going to be edged with the stocking shade. I'm holding the brush quite low down so that I'm applying minimal pressure. I'm going to see the ballet at the cinema with my friend tonight. We're going to see the Nutcracker. So I thought something pink and pretty would be nice for that, something festive. I love the blend I'm getting between those two shades. Just going to intensify though the original shade, the mulled wine. As I say, I want that to be really deep in the crease. I love this formula from Cosmic Beauty because you can layer it. You can go light to dark, or you can go dark to lighter. It doesn't really matter, and it works equally well. Now with a much bigger brush that I can diffuse more, I'm going to use the shade Ribbon. I'm just using that just as a blurring shade really, just around the edges. I'm loving how this blend is going. I'm going to go in with glitter primer now, and I'm going to put cranberries on most of my lid, and I'm just going to top it with a little bit of tinsel. So I'm putting the glitter primer over the entirety of my lid from front to back. I'm rocking my head back a little just to make sure we can get right into like the crease to follow the eyeball shape of my eye. So then using that same sticky brush, I'm going to go into cranberries. I'm putting cranberries everywhere, all over my lid. It is a multi-chrome, so I thought we would use it to its full advantage. I think I'm going to use tinsel in the inner corner. Actually, I was going to top it on the centre, but I think now I'm seeing how beautiful this shade is, I don't want to cover it because it's so dimensional. It's got some green in it, it's so pretty. Picking up really nicely with the brush as well, which is another thing that I love about the Cosmic Beauty formula. It's not one of those squishy shades, it's quite easy to pick up. Just in the outer corner, I'm just going to add a little bit of mulled wine just to make it a little bit less obvious where the matte and the shimmer meet, just in this outer corner, because I'm not going to do a wing or anything here to cover that. So for the inner corner, I'm just wrapping around onto this front part of the lower lash line. I'm going to go in with this shade, which is Tinsel. Oh, that's such a pretty shade. I really love that shade, it's so pretty. It's got reflex of like a gold sparkle in it, and it's like that salmony sort of pinky shade. It's so pretty. Okay, so that's the look to this point. Just going to hop off camera. I'm going to put something in my waterline, my mascara, and I'm going to apply the other lip that came with the collection, and I'll be back to show you the final look and to give you my thoughts on the Cosmic Beauty 'Tis the Season collection. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I think it goes perfectly with my sweater, and I just love how it looks. I think this might be my favourite of the two, but I love them both. But I think these are more my kind of colours. But yeah, I loved creating this one. It's so easy to do, as well, as you could see. To finish it off, I've gone in with a Victoria Beckham liner. I'm loving this so much. It's the only one I've got. I need more. This is in the shade Fig. And then I've used a lip liner from Pat McGrath. This is Bloodless, one of my favourite red lip liners. And it's pretty much the same shade as Santa Baby, which was the red lipstick from this collection. And that's what I've got on my lips here. So my thoughts on the collection, well, I think you know, because as I've been going through, I've been giving my opinions, but I absolutely love this. I can't believe they can put such quality out for the price, honestly. And it just makes you wonder, like, why are other brands charging so much, doesn't it? Because for £45 to get a palette, 2 lipsticks and 2 blushes of this quality is just incredible. So the 2 blushes, I mean, what beautiful stunning colours. Nutmeg's a very warm, rich kind of autumnal shade, but I think that would look beautiful on deeper skin tones as well. It is just a stunning colour. And then the shade Merry, of course, is what I've got on my cheeks today. It's just that beautiful, warm, pinky red. It's just, yeah, it's just beautiful. And as you saw, they just blend out effortlessly, but they last as well. So this isn't my first run with these, as you know, if you've watched a previous video. And they do last so long, and they don't feel tacky at all. You don't need to set them. You don't need to worry about them moving about, but they look glowy. So if you're older like I am, I think they give you such a youthfulness to your skin. And yeah, I'm in love with this formula. I think it's fantastic. Give me more colours, please. And then the lipsticks, gorgeous colours. I think they chose really well for this collection because they're wearable shades, but like, it's great to see a red, obviously, for a Christmas collection, but to have this ginger snap shade, it just goes so perfectly with the greens that are in the palette. And yeah, I think you could also wear this with the purples as well. So yeah, it's a really nice shade. And then of course the red is just your typical Santa red, but it's got a little bit of pinkiness to it, I think, or maybe I'm seeing pink because I've got pink on my eyes, but yeah, it's probably more of a true red if I'm honest with you. But a beautiful wearable shade of red, and the formula is so creamy and comfortable to wear. And of course it's got a magnetic closure as well. So the 'Tis the Season palette, well, obviously the palette's always the star of the show. If you're reviewing a collection that's got a palette in it, it's always my favourite part. But I think actually maybe the blushes are my favourite part of this collection because I just love them so much. But this palette is gorgeous. The purple row kind of threw me off a little bit when I first saw it, but I think it's genius because it doesn't make it just a Christmas colour story. You could do so much with this whatever time of year, and it's still cohesive. And I mean, just doing, say, a purple and green look at Halloween from this, you could do that. You could do autumnal looks with the second row with all those warm and toasty tones. You've got some neutrals in here. You've got a couple of standout multi-chromes. You've got different formulas of shimmers, and their matte formula just blends like butter. I'm not very good at blending at all, and yet I think this looks really perfectly blended. I'm so impressed. So yeah, absolutely love this collection. I think it's the best they've ever done, mainly because I love the colours that are in here. But yeah, it was just, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that is just perfection for a Christmas collection. Just love it so much. So I've nothing negative whatsoever to say. I think if you have any interest in this collection whatsoever and it's still available, buy it. I think it's just fantastic. And also if you buy the whole collection, you get the satin bag that it came in as well. So yeah, love doing this one. Going forward in the new year, I'm going to make a video about my plans for the new year, but I'm going to try and do 2 looks with every palette, even if that means I only put up a video every 2 weeks. But I think we're running a risk of like just doing a 2-minute look with one palette, toss that palette aside, do another 2-minute look with a palette, toss it aside, and doing 5 palettes in one video. I just think it's too much. I understand why creators are doing that because they're bombarded with PR and everybody's bringing so many things out, but I buy my own makeup, so I can decide what I bring into my collection and what I don't. And even palettes from the past, I want to do 2 looks in each video, so I can really get a feel for the palette and give you some ideas of what you could do with it and show the versatility of it. So I hope you're here for that, because I'm excited to start doing that. And yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun for me. But either way, thank you so much for watching this one, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. You'll have to let me know down in the comments whether you were team 1 or team 2 with the looks, whether you like the green with like that rusty kind of lower lash line and the full cut crease look to it, or whether you like this traditional sort of pink and red look that's very festive and pretty for Christmas. Do let me know down in the comments. Other than that, I hope you might consider subscribing before you go. Hope you're keeping safe and well, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye guys.